Our Coffee, Cake, and Camo podcast would not be possible without the support of our awesome partners. Thank you, T-Mobile, for being a force behind the forces and a proud partner of our outdoor adventure team.
Hey, Coffee, Cake, and Camo listeners. I'm Erica, and I want to welcome you guys to this very awesome, really cool special edition of our Coffee, Cake, and Camo podcast. It's brought to you by the USO of Hampton Roads in Central Virginia. Just search for the handle at USOHRCV to keep up with everything going on with your local USO, and find us online at hrcv.uso.org. Like I said earlier, this is a very special podcast episode because we have Michael Schwarting of our Outdoor Adventure team, who's going to take over, give us some really great things about everything going on with our OAT program, and just recapping of all the great events that we've recently had. So, Michael, you're pro at this by now. I'll let you take it away and have a great episode.
Awesome. Thank you, Erica. So good to be with you guys again. We're excited to share a little bit more of kind of what's going on with the Outdoor Adventure team. If you don't know much about us, we're a resiliency program that directly helps and benefits the active duty components of all of the different service branches that we have in coastal Virginia and their dependents in a lot of cool ways. So we do stand-up paddleboarding, functional fitness, running, triathlon, cycling, kayaking, orienteering, yoga, meditation, and even some recovery stuff for post-workout stuff. But we're really excited because today we're going to actually talk about, with our guest speaker, our most recent new offering that we're bringing out. So if you didn't know, we had a very exciting weekend, and we're able to pull off 50% of our Spooky Good Times Halloween event, which was at the Virginia Beach Regional Training Center, or otherwise known as the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. So Saturday was a day that featured the Outdoor Adventure Team, our program. We had 4 different events that went down. We had a Monster Mash, which we had 100 people RSVP'd for. We had a 1K fun run with costumes and everything for kids and family members, which we had another 100 people RSVP'd for. We had a 3K zombie run, which was really cool. Had all kinds of zombie actors out there. We had smoke cannons. We had lights. We had music. It was really super fun. It was we had 250 people RSVP'd for that as well. And then we closed the night with one of the coolest things that we have going on at OAT, which is called Gloga. Actually, it was the first time we did Gloga, but we do yoga because it has so many benefits to people. And we added that a couple months back. But Jackie Chirac from Solidarity of Sisters, who's a partner with us, ended up running a glow-in-the-dark yoga event. So we killed all the lights at the Virginia Beach Sportsplex. We had black lights. People had glow-in-the-dark clothing on. They had all kinds of colored chem lights, bracelets, and stuff like that. And anyway, it was a spectacular event. Super excited to have it. And just wanted to thank A&R Timing for coming out and doing the timing clock for the 2 runs, and then all of our volunteers who helped, support us through that event, and then, the people that dressed up as zombies as well. So, and we just want to thank you one last time for Brent and Stratton College, who sponsors this event, and then our other sponsors that were on scene: USAA, ECPI, T-Mobile, Griffles, and Pathfinder. So today we're featuring a guest speaker. His name is Brent, and Brent Russell to be precise. I'm going to read a little bit about his background, and then we're going to pull him up here and have an exciting, quick conversation back and forth. But Brent, originally from Midwestern Michigan, and always loved to play outside and be active. After graduating from high school in 1995, he enlisted in the Navy, moved to Virginia, met his wife Natasha, and now they have 4 amazing young boys. He retired from the Navy in December of 2019. He began a personal athletic journey in 2005 when he started running to stay active. Running led to buying a mountain bike, go figure, which led to a road bike purchase, but there are no single tracks in Virginia Beach. I love that. That's so true. After a lot of training, he built up and ran his first half marathon. That hurt so bad, so he did it again, and he did more, to include ultra marathons. A foot injury that he had limited his training abilities in 2007, so he took to the pool and learned to swim. Then he decided to do a sprint triathlon, which turned into a half Ironman distance triathlon pretty fast. You're kind of picking up on a rhythm of this guy's personality and his mindset. In the spring of 2008, Brent stumbled across a foot and mountain bike navigation race at a local state park and gave that a try. Following that, he was instantly hooked on adventure racing. Since then, every run, bike, swim, row, climb, or anything active has prepared him for the next adventure race. He's been fortunate enough to race some of the most of the top adventure races in the United States with amazing teams, and he's done some of these solo as well, ranging from 3 hours to 3 days of length, including 3 national championships. He started riding with the USO OAT in the summer of 2018 and has been volunteering in the studio since 2019 to facilitate a wide range of session availability. And actually, just to wrap that up, Brent, go ahead and hop on the screen. He was also our Volunteer of the Year for 2019. So, bro, you know I love you. You know the team loves you. Super excited to have you on this call with us today and sharing a little bit about your story and your experience. And there's no topic off discussion on my side. So, but welcome. Glad to have you on. Yep. Awesome. So talk a little bit about your background in the military, because you did a career like I did first. What did that look like? How many years? That kind of stuff.
Well, it started off in 95 after I graduated from high school. Like I said, it was Midwest Michigan, and 17 years old growing up on a farm, there wasn't much around there except for the farm. So I wanted to get out and do a little bit more. And my 2 older siblings, an older brother and older sister, they were already in the Navy, and I saw that they got to actually leave Midwestern Michigan and go out and do stuff. So I was like, that sounds like fun. So I joined the Navy, and that was August of 95, turned 18 in boot camp. And then 5 or 6 ships later, 8 or 9 deployments, 24 and a half years, filling all the wickets, doing all the fun stuff, seeing different ports, and yeah, that's pretty much the Navy career.
That's awesome. What would you say your highlight was over your naval career?
Picking up chief in 2010 was definitely the highlight of the career, because at that point you can start giving back more to the enlisted community, and I was at a training command and being able to train people and help them and prepare them for the future of the Navy and to actually benefit the Navy and not just take from it.
Yeah. And where did you do initiation?
Over at Damnick.
Okay. Awesome.
There was 36, 33 other people that through all the training commands and everything out there, FY11, 2010.
Yeah.
So
you're doing this career, you're wrapping the career up. How did you stumble across OAT? What was the connection there?
Well, funny story. I was driving home from the Little Creek base one day, and I was making a right on Shore Drive, and I see a cyclist carrying his bike across a Great Neck intersection. I'm like, that doesn't look right. He's wearing his tire, and his tubes is like a bandolier, and it kind of gives you the spidey senses, like something's not right here. So I swing around the block, and I run into one of the guys that was there, and I offer him. I always keep bicycle kit in the car, or I got the bike rack on the back. I'm like, hey, what do you need? You need a tube, you need a patch, you need a wheel. What do you need? I got it. Or you just need a ride back. So he's like, it's been a long day. Can you just give me a ride back home? So I gave him a ride back home, and the whole time I didn't even realize he was missing like half of his leg. He was a below knee amputee or above knee amputee. And I'm like, whoa, that's a little different. It's just not something you run into every day.
Sure.
And so he was prior military, retired military, and he had since become a above the knee amputee, I believe it was. And he was riding with, I just didn't know it at the time, or knew that the USO had a program going on back in the backside of the base. So I started doing some group rides and everything that he had introduced me to, and I met Johnny, and everything just took off from there. So
that's awesome. And when was this? What year was that?
This was 2018.
Okay. Yeah.
So before Thanksgiving
not so
time
long
frame,
ago.
I think.
Yeah.
So
cool. Actually, you have one of the highest in-studio mileage levels that we have. So it's like you've obviously accomplished a whole lot since then.
Yeah.
And, we absolutely love having you. So kind of an open-ended question. What is your largest love in life?
My 4 kids.
Yep.
I got 4 boys ranging from 1 years to 12 years, and a lot of times I'm just spending time with them. That's my largest love. Outside of just, family and my wife and my kids, it's being able to be outside and be active. And a lot of times when I'm outside and active, it's not just me outside by myself, but doing the adventure racing, you get to be outside and being active with other people. You get the team camaraderie involved and the sense of accomplishment.
Yeah, and I love it. And we're going to share some of the pictures that you've shared with us. And I love the pictures of you and the boys doing some of this stuff, because really today, what a great thing to raise kids from a young level doing, right? If I look back over time and think about some of the things that I think have limited people, kind of even into their adult years, ties back to when they were kids, they didn't really develop super high self-esteems. And there's a million reasons why that might have happened. But one of the coolest things that I love, and it's absolutely vivid in the pictures of your boys running through the woods with you and doing stuff, is like, this is a really healthy thing, right? We're getting them out.
Absolutely.
We're doing stuff as a family too. Hello, that's almost completely evaporated in life. Like, nobody is doing a lot of stuff as kids, or I mean, a very few amount, because people are just busier, right? Life has gotten a lot more expensive too, but I think that's one of the most important things for kids, is just developing that self-esteem, early on. And I absolutely agree. Adventure racing is an incredible way to do that. And it absolutely looks like you guys have a blast while you're doing it. So, yeah, I kind of had a feeling that was going to be your response. But you also have this super passion that we've kind of read about in your bio, which is adventure racing and all that stuff. So with that being said, so I'm a father of 5, so I can somewhat probably process what life is like with the 4 kids in the house, and then adventure racing is nothing to sneeze at, right? There's a lot of work that has to go into it, a lot of preparation, a lot of exercise, a lot of recovery. So how do you find yourself, spinning the plates or balancing life, and still be able to take on this amazing, part of your life that it takes up a lot of your time also?
Well, since the pandemic, it's been a little easier because I've been able to work from home. So that's helped a lot of things, being able to spend time with the boys and be able to, hey, well, we need to get outside today. So we're going to go outside and we're going to get outside. We got a good team here at my house. I got my wife, Natasha, who's great at, I get my time, not necessarily my time, but I get time to go take care of myself physically and mentally, and she gets her time and juggle the kids in between. That's pretty much the only way. It's like herding cats around my house, though. So yeah. It's spinning plates. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, no, it's awesome that you're able to pull it off and keep everything in check. And a lot of people I've met a lot of people in the adventure racing world over the years, and what I see that's been different with you is, like, a lot of people can kind of be inspired by adventure racers just kind of hearing their story and stuff like that, but you live and breathe it, and you very non-invasively present it as something cool for someone to kind of think about trying, because everybody knows, at least the core of the group know what you do, so we're on a bike ride or we're seeing you in the gym working out or something like that. Like, we know how you're preparing for something that's coming, but it's also very opening to people's mindsets. Maybe I should try this thing that Brent does, once in a while, and kind of dip the toe in the water and see if it's something that I would like to do as well. So it
can be very intimidating to start out, because you start taking away GPS and giving people's maps and compasses, and you tell them it's okay that you don't have to stay on the trail. You can just go whichever way you want, and that's not trained anymore. It's not taught anymore. Everybody lives in the 5K world, where here's your route, here's your course. You got to run around the block 3 times and it's a 5K or whatever. So it's a different mindset to just be like, hey, you can go choose your own adventure. Here's where you got to go to.
Right. Yeah, and what I remember about about that is that when I grew up, I was in this amazing program called Civil Air Patrol. And this was in Jersey, and we were in the Pine Barrens, right? And basically, Civil Air Patrol, if you don't know what it is, it's a civilian auxiliary of the United States Air Force for the listeners, and it's kids from I think the youngest is about 10 up to the teenage years, and they basically learn how to do ground search and rescue. So if a plane were to go down in the woods, you now have this auxiliary of people that can be spun up, and they know how to find lost people, survival skills and stuff like that. And the 5G world did not exist back then. And I
Right.
remember sitting down to the first like orienteering course, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is crazy. How am I going to learn how to do it? But it is really simple, especially when you have, good instruction and people with experience that can help you along the way. So I'm super excited that this is the direction that we're going. And if you haven't picked up on it, listeners or viewers, that's our newest offering. And we're going to talk a little bit more about it in detail, but adventure racing. And one of the reasons why I like it personally is, before I took the program over, it was a lot of individualized things going on. And one of the things that's true and important to the USO is the dependent side, right? So getting the family members out, with the active duty member and stuff like that. And this is a brilliant way for us to be able to do it in an exciting and safe environment and really encourage people to move on it. So 2020, you mentioned COVID, the pandemic. Let's look at 2020 through your eyes, and what's occurred with the outdoor adventure team, because you said you met guys in 18, you started volunteering in 19. What's changed?
A lot of participation. Before we had a core group of 10, 12 people that I would see on a regular basis that would come in. And since then, there's been so much uptick in participation. And then once we were able to get the studio back open, the amazing things that you guys have done in there to add in, we don't just have 20 kicker trainers anymore and a couple rowing machines. We have that plus more facilities than the MWR has. Like, it's just amazing that the amount of equipment and gear and the offerings. Stand-up paddleboarding, like you can go stand-up paddleboarding now. And how many people just want to go for one day without investing $1,000 into a paddleboard?
Sure.
Opportunities like that are endless there. So
Yep.
Those are some of the huge changes that I've seen. It's not just, hey, we're a bunch of cyclists wearing our little skinny kits. It's open to a lot more people and hopefully less intimidating.
Yeah. And all the equipment that Brent's talking about, just to let you guys know, is fully mobile. So one of the things I didn't mention in the beginning is like command fitness events. This is something that the OAT can do. We can come in. You want to break up some of the monotony. We can set up some pretty cool stuff. We can come to your location. You can come to our location. So we're fully mobile in that regard. And one of the newest offerings that we have, which is creating a buzz, is the Mommy and Me workouts that we do Tuesday and Thursday mornings. We got a good little core there started, and it's growing. We actually are doubling our numbers this week of participants, which is exciting. Again, just trying to provide value to the active duty and dependent population here. So I would imagine I know the answer to this, but so you believe that OAT has some value to active duty and dependent family members right now? And
Oh yeah, for sure.
And our goal is just to supplement, right? Like, it's not to take over the world. It's just to have some other cool options for people who are really looking to get out and do something exciting.
Yeah, we had one family move in from, it was either Hawaii or San Diego. I think it was Hawaii, and they had 3 girls they go to high school locally now, and middle school and high school. And the father got here and he got deployed right away, but the mother's active, and she brought in her 3 girls, and they were all on the trainers. Like, they would come in at 6:00 in the morning and show up, and it's like, where else can you get that experience of, getting them in and getting them a session in before school even started.
Right. Yeah, it's awesome. All right, so let's talk about 2 weekends from now. Let's talk about November 14th.
Yeah.
So we are doing our first adventure race November 14th. We have a 3-hour leg and a 6-hour leg options. You can do these as a group. You can do these individually. We've got starting or show times of 8 to 1 o'clock for the 3-hour version, and then 8 to 10:30 in the morning for the 6-hour version. That's basically so we can get everybody to the finish line before we're closing the event down and not having any stragglers. But let's talk about that. Give everybody an overview of kind of how that looks and you know who that's for.
So we're offering a 3 and 6 hour. We're calling it an adventure race, which technically it is. It's how we're defining it. We are not doing anything on water. There's no kayak. There's no paddleboard. There's nothing like that. But we are doing it at York River State Park. We got the permits. We're good to go with that. The 3-hour is going to be a foot only option, and that's designed more for the family member. And I know when I first heard, oh, it's a 3-hour, 4-hour race, like that blew my mind. I was training for a Marine Corps marathon, and I thought, I'm trying to run a marathon in 4 hours. Like, I can't cover that much ground. That's really intimidating. And then once I got into adventure racing and got out into the woods, I realized that I'm not redlining my heart rate for 3-4 hours. It's literally just a walk in the woods or staying on trail, following a map, looking for some cool checkpoints. So if anybody's listening and they're thinking, oh man, 3 hours, I can't do that. If you can go walk around the mall, you can do a 3-hour adventure race. It's not that taxing. My kids were 7 and 11 last time we took them up and to New Quarter Park, City Park, and we walked around and we did very well. Finished first or second in one of the little categories, and my kids aren't super fit or anything. They just walked around, one had a toy dinosaur in his hand looking for snakes. Like, it was a very good experience, and I want to take that and give that back to the active duty and their families. And some people may have seen the Amazon series Eco Challenge, the world's toughest race. They might have seen that come out and be like, hey, that looks like it's kind of fun. Well, that's kind of what we're offering, but not to that extent of pain and severity. It's the 3-hour is going to be something that's not, there's going to be navigation in there, and you're going to have a map, and you might need a compass for it. I recommend a compass for it. But it's going to be a choose your own adventure. Go walk through the woods, stay on the trails if you need to. That's definitely going to be a possibility. I'm not going to set up the checkpoints to where they're going to be in the middle of a bunch of briars. It's not going to be that kind of adventure. You may get off trail a little bit and get pricked a couple times by a briar, but you know, that's just kind of how you're planning your race strategy. And then the 6-hour option. Now you can go out, you can sign up for the 6-hour option, and you can get through the 3-hour option and be like, look, I've had enough. I'm good. I had my time out there, and I've had my fun, and that's fine. And when I say go out there and have fun, how this works is we're going to have checkpoint flags set out in the woods, and those are going to be on a map, and we're going to give you the map. And you're not going to get the map ahead of time. You're going to get it just before you start. You can look at it, and then when you say you're ready to go, we'll let you on your way, and we'll start your personal time, your team's time at that point. But you don't have to get every one of them. Every checkpoint is optional. If you only want to get 10 of the 13, you only have to get on the 10 of the 13. This is your race. This is your adventure. We're providing you the ability to go out and have it. So after you get done with the 3-hour event, the people who wish to continue for the 6-hour event is going to be a biking event. The biking event, there at York River State Park, there is some pretty good single track bike trails, but we aren't taking you on every one of those super hard single track trails. There's a lot of dirt access roads, little gravel roads that we're going to use, and we're not going to tell you which way you got to go, but if you have a bike and fitness ability to use some of the single track trails, it might be a little more advantageous than going out and backs on some of the gravel. So I don't recommend a road bike being brought to it, but a hybrid bike probably is going to be okay out there. So the 6-hour event is going to be a 3-hour map on the foot side. And as soon as you get done with that, we're going to give you your approximate 3-hour bike. And then you're going to go find another, I think that one's scheduled for another 17 or so checkpoints out in the middle of the woods of York River State Park. And the really interesting thing about York River State Park is there's enough elevation and terrain to where it's just not pancake flat. So if you see on the map where it looks like there's a stream cutting through, there's going to be a stream cutting through, and you're going to be able to tell. And I'm not setting the checkpoints in the middle of the tidal flooding, so you shouldn't be waist deep in the middle of a tidal marsh being like, hey, where's this thing at? I mean, there's always the option for you to take that route if you want to, but that's not going to be the intent. The bike navigation will be more strenuous and a little more mental than the family friendly foot navigation. So I encourage at least everybody to come out that has the ability to bring a bike out there to at least try the 6-hour, because it's going to be fun. And if you aren't completely wasted after doing the 3-hour, go ahead and give the 6-hour a try and get the bike out there. With that being said, there is some mandatory gear as far as like bringing enough water and having bike supplies and stuff like that with you. It's not really intrusive of how much that we're saying that you have to bring. A lot of it's on the recommended side, and you're going to transition in the parking lot area between the 3 and 6-hour race. So as you get done with the foot section, anything that you want to restock on while you grab your bike, you're going to be able to have right there. So I think that pretty much sums up what we're doing.
Yeah. So guys and gals, this is not a big, painful event by design. It's designed to be the perfect, I want to try out this sport event. And then if you want to get a little crazy and do, the 6-hour, you can do it. But, we made the call on the water for the time of year, but we do intend to add that as we get warmer. Would love to have you come out and join us. We will be posting an RSVP link shortly. So be checking our Instagram, our Facebook, and then our Team Reach app. If you don't know about our Team Reach app, it's the app that we post all of our different OAT events on. It's a free app. If you want to get it, go to our Instagram or Facebook, and actually you'll see on the bottom of our Instagram profile a link tree, hyperlink. You just click on that. It'll take you right to the Team Reach app and give you directions on how to get it. That's a great way to keep in touch with the Outdoor Adventure team and everything that we have going. So I want to personally thank you, Brent, for hopping on this call today and everything that you do. Go ahead.
One quick thing. Now,
Yes.
if there's somebody that, like, I've never used the compass or anything, we're going to have people available. We're going to have volunteers that have done adventure racing for years, that have done expedition multi-day events. They're going to be there to assist you to get you going in the right direction. So if you worry about, well, I don't know how to navigate, just come on out and we'll give you a hand on that. I just want to make sure that was clear.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. And again, what Brent's talking about is a bunch of people that he's been racing with over time, and they're very excited to come out and support us, and we're thankful for all of them. So please share that news with them as well. And the packing list and everything that goes along with this event will be visible on the registration site. So we do ask you to register. If you do register, we ask you to come, because we only have so many spaces, and we want to kind of have an idea. We're going to do some barbecuing and stuff like that there as well, so we want to have a good head count. But thank you again, Brent, for hopping on. I want to thank Erica for everything that she's doing for the USO at Hampton Roads, Central Virginia, and turning Coffee Cake and Camo into an exceptional podcast. We're once every 4 weeks, and we're glad to give you updates along the way. I want to personally thank T-Mobile once again. What you guys did for us this year has changed this program in such an amazing way, and we look forward to the next episode with you. So I'll turn it back over to Erica, and I hope everybody has a great day.
Well, that's all the time we have today for this special edition of our Coffee, Cake, and Camo podcast. Be sure to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. Just search for the handle @USOHRCV and @USOHRCVOAT to share with your friends and family. Use the hashtag Coffee, Cake, Camo to share a topic you'd like for us to talk about, or share your feedback and comments. And we'd like to thank our amazing partner T-Mobile for being a proud partner of our outdoor adventure team and a force behind the forces. Once again, I'm Erica. Stay connected and classy HRCV.